Okay folks, today we're going to try a taste test of the Jolly Posh Foods back bacon, and we'll have an explanation of what back bacon is and black pudding and a similar explanation. I've eaten these all my life, so this is nothing new for me. We'll see how good and authentic it is and come back to you in a little while. This will be a fairly short video, so just hang in there. This is interesting, looking at the black pudding ingredients. It lists pork as an ingredient. It doesn't say anything else. I don't know if that's pork fat, but there should be no meat in this. Black puddings are a blood and cereal sausage. So we'll see when we cut it up. Maybe we'll find out before we post this. But I thought that was an interesting comment. By the way, Sundae, the closest you'll get to black pudding in this country, Korean sausage, has pork snouts in it, but that's a blood sausage, noodle and pork snout sausage, and we'll show you some of that in a minute. Okay, so what's back bacon, you might well ask? And this is the Jolly Posh Foods rendition of it. Back bacon is an English bacon you just don't see here in the US. Typically we have the pork loin here. If we were to cure and smoke this by itself, that would be what we call Canadian bacon. Over here we have a very small, on the Jolly Posh part, strip of pork belly. Now, I'm not going to load this test up until we get to the English kitchen in a couple of days, and we'll buy some English back bacon, because typically this pork belly strip is a little bit longer. Nicholas may be having the same problem I have, which is finding a cut of meat to make back bacon. Streaky bacon, you know I make my own, you've seen this on my channel. That's pork belly, and as I said, Canadian bacon is just the loin. So we'll give this a taste. It's not smoked, I prefer smoked bacon, but that's fine. It looks good, and I'm looking forward to tasting it. So we'll give this a try. I hope that education on the 3 different types of bacon was helpful. So here's a quick look at the Jolly Posh black pudding before we cook it. Black pudding should be blood, cereal, some fat, cooked in or simmered in boiling water, or cooked in a bath, and if you do it in a loaf tin, and there you have it. I have had a taste of this raw, by the way, because it's not raw, it's cooked before it's put in the case, when it's done, comes out the casing. But I have the same complaint with this Jolly Posh black pudding that I do with the berry black pudding that you get in England, which is the ubiquitous black pudding these days. There are no fat chunks of pork in it. I'm a child of the black country, where black pudding is almost a regional dish, and we always had big chunks of pork fat in there. I miss it. Wish I could talk people to putting it in here, but some people may freak out when they see it. I wish they wouldn't. It really adds to the eating experience. But anyway, we'll cook this up and see how it turns out. So here we go with our cooked Jolly Posh back bacon. Last rasher had a little bit of oil in it. The others seem to want to cook off the curing solution in them. The black pudding's fried for a couple of minutes each side, nice and crispy. We're going to serve this up, eat it, and I'll come back to you with a remark on the taste tests in a minute. What we're going to do, by the way, is hold this over. I'm leaving for the English kitchen in a couple of days, and I'm going to buy some English back bacon and some berry black pudding and just compare the two as well as my memory will work. And we'll see how we're doing here with Nicholas's Jolly Posh back bacon and black pudding. So here we are, folks. This is the back bacon that I've purchased to compare to Jolly Posh's. It's Tesco's unsmoked back bacon rashers. I'll get these out of the packet and show you what they look like, along with the 3 types of black pudding we've bought to compare to Jolly Posh's. Okay folks, here's a couple of the Tesco back bacon rashers before we cook them. And I will tell you, I bought Tesco. Tesco, for those who live in America, and never had one by you, is a middle range supermarket. I figured that was a fair comparison, not buying top of the line. We'll see how this works out. Average English back bacon, unsmoked. I prefer smoked bacon, but there you go. Jolly Posh is unsmoked. You'll see the loin portion's quite large, decent fat cap, and the belly portion is, in my opinion, a little bigger than the one on the Jolly Posh rasher. This is kind of what I'm used to in back bacon, but a lot depends on the meat you get and your ability to work with it. The one thing I will tell you right from the start, these Tesco rashers are cut a good bit thinner than Jolly Posh's rashers that are available in the United States. That's probably to allow them to get 10 rashers in the packet and keep the price down. But by the by, this is average English back bacon, and that's what we're going to use for our comparison. And these are the 3 black puddings that we're going to cook to compare to Jolly Posh's. Top left, this is berry black pudding. It's the ubiquitous brand name for supermarket black pudding in England. It's probably the direct comparison to Jolly Posh. See, we have a little nub of fat. We'd like bigger ones personally. And you can see some of the grains cut through. This is, I'll call it a bespoke black pudding that I bought from a high-end butcher's in Henley in Arden, where I bought some game. You'll notice you can see very distinct grains in it. They may have used suet for the fat. I don't see any fat chunks. I will tell you, this particular black pudding has way more salt in it than I would care to eat on a regular basis. It's also quite spicy. This is Waitrose's black pudding, which I originally thought was going to be berry black pudding, and it doesn't look like berry black pudding. We'll see if they taste similar. Nice, a few grains showing, lots of blood in that sausage. So, after we've cooked these up, we'll tell you how they taste and what we think of them. Well, we'll try this again, since I didn't start the camera. Tried the bacon. As you can see, it's browned beautifully in its own fat. Probably has a little less moisture than Nicholas's bacon. Tastes good, it's tender, a little salt, not too bad. I'd hand this to Nicholas's bacon, largely because it's cut thicker. Tastes very similar, which is not a bad thing, by the way, because Nicholas is trying to recreate English back bacon, and that's what this is. Now, as to the black puddings, berry. You can really see the cereal grains in here. It's soft, tender, no strong flavours, very pleasant. Here's the bespoke black pudding. Still see the grains cut a little smaller. Spicier, definitely spicier. They packed a few more spoonfuls of pepper into that baby, and more salt, by the way, which I don't think is a good thing. And the Waitrose, very similar to the berry black pudding. Moist, tender, a few less grains, maybe a little more blood, I don't know. By the way, sidebar, Berry has a video on YouTube showing how they make their black puddings, and I'll put a link in the description to it. All these black puddings, by the way, would have been made with powdered blood, because it's just not available. Real blood is not available in the UK anymore. I don't know what's used in Nicholas's product. So, Nicholas has it with the bacon. On the black puddings, no, Nicholas makes a really nice, tasty black pudding. Honourable mention there, but I'd have to prefer these. I like seeing the grains. A lot of this is visual. I like seeing the grains in the black puddings, little bits of fat. These may be a little softer and more tender than Nicholas's. So where are we at the end of this comparison? Well, it's a draw. Nicholas wins on the bacon, gets honourable mention on the black pudding, but the local English guys pip him at the post, largely on a visual and a texture. So with that, folks, I hope you found this interesting. There's no reason you should not buy Jolly Posh products, by the way, if you're in the US, because at least you can get it. And they're perfectly acceptable, and their bacon's above par. So with that, if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe and tell your friends, and let's all have a great day in our kitchens.